This is another episode of Careers with Nelly. I am glad to have you back if you're a returning viewer. And if you're coming to this channel for the first time, in this channel, I share content on personal, professional, and career growth just to help you build a rewarding and fulfilling careers. Today's conversation is going to change your job search strategy forever, and of course is going to bring you closer to building a rewarding and fulfilling careers. I'm excited because I have an expert in the studio who is going to talk to us about the job search strategies that actually work. You know, one of the most important thing I always tell people is that in whatever you do, and job search is not an exception, you need to have strategies that is actually going to make that which you do work. So in today's conversation, we are talking about job search strategies for 2024, for the years that are coming, that are actually been brought about, or rather that are actually in trend as per the current technological advancement that will see your career scale to the next level. So help me to welcome my guest, Winnie Owinga. Winnie, how are you doing?
Thank you. I'm fine. How are you?
I'm very fine. Thank you so much, and welcome to the show. I'm quite excited to have you. And when I thought about doing this topic, and when I had a conversation, or rather I get feedback from my audience, and some of the questions were people are asking for, what are the job search strategies that actually work? When I look at the comments, I see people say, I have really looked for jobs, I've tried applying, and these the strategies are actually not working. So could you share a video, or could you do content around job search strategies? And honestly, I couldn't think of anyone else apart from you. So thank you for coming. I just want us to start by having you introduce yourself and tell our audience, or rather our viewers, who Winnie is.
Thank you, Nelly, for having me. I appreciate this invite, and I must say that I love what you do.
Thank you.
And keep up. So basically, my name is Winnie Owinga. I'm a HR practitioner with over 5 years of experience. My experience, I've worked majorly in the consultancy industry. That's where my experience in HR has been up to this far. Thank you.
From where you sit, how do you think, or how would you recommend that a job seeker does, or rather carries out a successful self-assessment to help them identify their strength, help them identify the jobs that they want to get into, and of course, just to help make their job search process easier?
Okay, thank you, Nelly. Just to mention also, as a recruiter, I would like to say that their jobs are there.
Yeah.
Yes, it's how you package yourself as a job seeker. And in terms of assessing yourself, you need to actually get to understand your personality. if you're an extrovert, what can you do best? If you're an introvert, what are some of the strengths that you have that you can actually give value to the role that you're applying for in that particular organization?
Yeah.
Also, you need to know your interests. What do you like? What do you love? Also, you need to understand that it's very important to know some of your weaknesses, some of your strengths, where can you fit. So it's not just a matter of seeing a job advert and just sending a CV, just applying for any job. Yes.
Yeah, so I think that's quite interesting. And I completely agree with you that self-assessment in terms of being able to understand your strength, being able to understand your weaknesses, your personality, which really plays a key role in terms of just getting into a job that you are a good fit. So that's really an important point for me. And anyone who is outside there and you're looking for a job, it all begins from you as a person. Do you understand yourself? And I was telling you that the bit that most of us don't even understand what we like, or most of us don't even understand what are our key strengths. We don't even want to go to that interview question of what is your key strength or what is your key weak, what is your major weakness. We don't understand our strength, our weaknesses. So that's why when you're applying for jobs, you're just going into any job. We just throw CVs left, right, and center. Oh, that's quite interesting. Thank you. Another thing that I would also want us to talk about is technology. And I really feel we can't have this conversation without talking about technology, because really technological advancement has really shifted so many things, and job search is not an exemption. So will you just talk to us about what are some of the technological advancement, especially in the job search journey? How has it affected job search, and how can job seekers take advantage of technology?
Okay, thank you so much for that, Nelly. In terms of technology, I would talk of digital presence. What is your digital presence? How are you branding yourself online? What do you post online? Because what you post actually reflects who you are as a professional. And as people always say, the internet never forgets. So you really need to be cautious as a job seeker. What do you post? When it comes to LinkedIn, you need to ensure that your LinkedIn profile is well optimized in a way that if a recruiter maybe tries to approach you for a role, because you find that most of the jobs, a recruiter would just come into your inbox and just shares with you the specifications of the role, and you'll be able to gauge if you can actually do this or you cannot do this, and they'll dig deeper into maybe your other social media handles just to see what content are you posting. You're currently looking for a job. What are you doing about your job search? Are you just posting maybe content that are not similar to maybe your profession? Let's say you are in HR, you're seeking a new role. The recruiter is expecting you to probably post something into about HR content, so that the recruiter will be able to know that actually this person is interested in this role. Yes.
Thank you for that. And,
Okay.
and maybe just to dwell a bit on that question around technology. There's the introduction, the emergence of things like tools like AI,
Yeah.
use of ATS, that is the applicant tracking system. I think maybe you'll just talk to us a bit about what a job seeker needs to know about it, because somebody was telling me that, of course, you from a recruiter or a HR consultant, you know that nowadays people even do shortlisting through advanced technology like AI. The ATS machines are being fed by AI just to help shift, or rather just to help a recruiter do shortlisting really quick. You know, jobs attract so many applications, and honestly, you don't really expect someone maybe to go through all those CVs. So maybe just talk to us just a bit about AI, the applicant tracking system, and again, from a job seeker perspective, what do I need to do to my CV to meet the requirement of these advanced technological tools?
Okay. Let me talk about the ATS. The ATS, the applicant tracking software. And most international organizations, they adopt this in a way that it's a machine that scans your CV, not a human being, not like the normal one. You send your email and maybe a recruiter takes time to scan through your CVs, maybe over 100 CVs. So for this particular one, the machine detects and it cuts down on the main points that is included in the JD. So as a job seeker, you need to customize your CV. Ensure that if you're applying for a role for, let's say, an accounting role, the JD for that accounting role, it should actually be aligned in a way that when you send your application, the ATS will be able to narrow down on the key features that are required for that job, so that you're not able to be locked down out of the shortlisting process.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and just maybe on ATS still, I know I'm told there's some, there's a language that ATS understands and there's a language that ATS loves.
Yeah.
There are some things if I put in my CV, ATS will not be able to, it will not be ATS friendly. That's actually the word. So maybe can you just share with us a bit, how should my CV look like? What is it that I need to remove that ATS will not like, or what ATS will like?
Yeah, for the ATS CV, it's very different from the modern CV. Like for the ATS, you need to avoid doing tables, especially most job seekers love to write the education part sector. They draw a table and you write the year, the institution, and the award that you attained.
Yeah.
Now for the ATS, it does not recognize tables. So if your CV has any table, automatically you're locked down. Yes, so those are some of the things that you need to factor in when you are sending an application. Yeah, especially for an ATS CV.
Yeah.
Don't avoid the use of tables. Avoid maybe the use of too much colors. Let's say you cannot be putting pink, blue. Yeah, avoid maybe those shouting colors, and probably you can avoid the use of graphs. Maybe the use of graphs actually. For maybe someone in accounting, you might want to narrow down your skills just for the recruiter to be able to know what you've been doing. So just avoid that, avoid the graphs, avoid the tables, and your CV will pass through the test.
Yeah. So ATS really need, I think that brings me back, or rather what I'm getting is the bit of simplicity.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so you really need to design your CV in that, yes, it is simple, but it can communicate what you wanted to communicate to the recruiter or the person looking at it.
Yeah, it should actually align with the JD of that role. If it aligns, you're good to go.
Go in terms of it needs to have the keywords from that JD and all that.
Yeah.
Wow, that's quite interesting. And I think in that point you've also said you've mentioned something which is very important in terms of the digital presence. You've talked about LinkedIn, and I honestly really believe that LinkedIn is a big tool now that any job seeker needs to know how to use it for their own good. So I think, guys, just in that, just while we're still at that, there's a video that we did about LinkedIn. I'll just leave the link to the video in the description, so you can go and watch it, because on that video I had a guest who shared everything about LinkedIn, how you can build a strong presence on LinkedIn, understanding the type of content that you need to create on LinkedIn, and so on. So I'll leave the video, I'll leave the link to that video on the description, so you can just get to watch it as well. So thank you so much for that, Winnie. So I think as we move on, I want us to talk about resume, CVs, cover letters, because I think 99% of job search begin there, apart from maybe somebody who maybe I've had people say that they got jobs without CVs, but honestly we don't want to remove the CVs and resumes from a job search, honestly. So I just want us to talk a bit about CVs. I know you've mentioned a bit about an ATS compliant CV. It needs to be simple. It needs to avoid graphs, tables, and all that. So there's a big question that I want to ask you, and I want you to be very honest with me and honest with our viewers about cover letters. Does cover letters still matter in job applications?
From my perspective, they do matter in some roles. Because normally you see an advert emphasizing attach your cover letter and your CV. So basically the cover letter is just it's an overview of your achievements in that organization, your skills and your knowledge. Yes.
So if you had two applicants, one with a CV, one with a cover letter, one without a cover letter, do you think the one with a cover letter would rank higher?
Not really. Yes.
So in those applications that you just told apply or just send your CV, What happens if I don't accompany my CV with a cover letter? Does it reduces my chances? Does it reduce rather my chances of being shortlisted?
No, it doesn't. Actually, most, let me just say, most recruiters, they don't really read the cover letters. We normally run to the CV. You need to check what does this candidate has. Yes, like for me, what I normally scan through, I normally check I first check the work experience. Yes, relating to that particular role. Sorry. So the cover letter, I'll just say it's important, but not really necessary. But if it's written in the job advert, it's important to just have it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that is when the application instruction said, send your CV and a cover letter. That's very clear. So you need to send it together with the
Yes,
CV.
because you see that there are some jobs that you apply online, the ones that you're supposed to sign in and put on your details, fill in your data. They normally have a part where they say that write a cover letter or maybe attach. So now you see for that, you will not just attach your CV and ignore that part. Yes, so you'll have to follow it up. And also, any job that says that you just send your updated CV, while you're doing the email, you're sending it via email. It's always important as a job seeker just to write something on the body of the email, just to show that you are truly interested in this role. Don't just throw your CV just like that. Yes.
Okay. So I think what I get is that it's quite important is they're still important.
Yes.
We are not facing out cover letters. I think it's a conversation that I've had so many people say, oh, cover letters, we even look at them, especially where the recruitment is manual. You have 200 people sending their cover letters and CVs and other documents. You see those people who, during the time of application, they'll even send all their certificates. So I'm trying to imagine you want to look at all that.
Yeah, let me just say it's important because you might find a job seeker in the CV. The job seeker has not indicated the contact details, and the job seeker probably attached the cover letter. The cover letter has the phone number and the email address. And from the CV, the candidate is qualified. So you see, you'll be able to get the contacts of the person. Yeah, so I think it's important just to have both.
All right, thank you. Thank you for that. I think that's quite interesting to learn. So now that I know you're a recruiter, and from your experience, you've worked with recruitment agencies. I just want us to talk a bit about job search tools. Like maybe I am a job seeker, and I'm planning, or rather, I'm thinking of using an agency, or I'm thinking of using an agency. I just want you to tell us, what advantage does using a recruitment agency have over a job seeker just going to job boards or a company website and getting a job and applying there?
Wow, that's interesting. So for the recruitment agencies, the job seekers, they're able to register your CV. You're able to register your CV with the agency. When a role comes up, maybe the particular role you're looking for is not there at the moment, but when a role comes up, and definitely you have a good CV, you have the necessary skills that the recruiter is looking for, you are given a first priority, yes, to be shortlisted and attend the interview. That is one of the advantages.
Also, when you're using a recruitment agency,
Yeah.
Okay, so you basically have a database of
guys. You have a database of guys. Let's say customer service. You might not be hiring for that role at the moment, but in case something comes up, you use your database, and also you still advertise also to get new applications, and also to mix with the database and the new applications. So the people on the database, you give them first priority. Yes.
Okay, so are job seekers charged for that?
No, they're not charged.
Okay.
It's free.
Okay. Yes. So at what point does a recruitment agency charge a job seeker?
Sorry?
At what point does a recruitment agency charge a job seeker for placement?
Recruitment agencies, they work differently, they operate differently. I understand there are some that you have to register
with a certain amount.
Yeah, with a certain amount, just for your CV to be there.
Why will the job seeker do that? Tell us.
Why would a job seeker pay?
Pay.
Yeah, most of the times it's desperation. The job seeker probably is really needs this job, and maybe he's convinced that if I get to pay, I'll be given the first chance. And to some extent, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So from where you sit, do you think that's the right thing to do? Is it the job seeker who is supposed to pay to be placed in a database, or is it the company that you're hiring for that is supposed to pay you or pay the company a recruitment commission?
The company you're hiring for should pay the recruitment agency. You should not charge the job seeker.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, all right, that's fine. I think that's
Yeah.
quite, but that's a discussion for another day. Yeah, because I think that is what really helps most job seekers. And if
Yeah.
you're a recruitment company outside there, even from where I sit, I don't think it's right to charge a job seeker to place them. I mean, at the end of the day, I always tell people you're hiring somebody for their skills.
Yeah.
So when I have an opportunity and I have a client, or you have an opportunity, you go to your database and pick people with that skills. I don't honestly think you need to charge somebody to place them for a job.
Yeah, the client should actually charge the agency for the work. Yes.
Good. So I think just moving forward, I want us to talk about relationships and networking.
Okay.
And networking is a whole big topic. And from where I sit, I really believe networking is important for any job seeker. I think it's through networks that we get to know each other. We get to get referred through opportunities. So from your interactions with job seekers, do you think job seekers have gotten it right? Especially, at least, do you think most job seekers have gotten it right when it comes to networking for job search?
No, most job seekers have not gotten it right, and people have the wrong perception about networking. That you just go for, let's say, a networking event, you just pick business cards, you're just excited, you're meeting maybe top profile people.
Yeah.
And probably you went for that. Actually, when you're going for a networking event, you need to have a goal. When you see maybe a poster about an event, you need to ask yourself, who do I need to meet here? What am I going to achieve in this event? You should not just be going to any event. So most job seekers, they just attend. You just pick business cards, and probably you won't even call any of them. So I feel if you attend a networking event, before you go, know what you want to achieve in that event. Probably if there's someone you've been looking up to in your industry, and you happen to meet the person in the event, maybe you can change contacts, and you make sure you follow it up. You follow it up with a call, with a message, with an email, and also get to meet the person later one-on-one. Yes. So it's not just about picking cards. Yes.
And keeping them and
and
saying
keeping
you
them.
have contacts of so many people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's really true. And maybe now off the networking events, the physical networking events, maybe just talk to us a bit about networking on social media platforms. And I talk about LinkedIn a lot because I think so far LinkedIn is the leading professional networking platform. So that's really where opportunities are, right? So just talk to us. What are the strategies that job seekers need to use, especially when networking on platforms like LinkedIn, just for successful job search?
So for LinkedIn is a game changer, especially for recruiters and also job seekers. It's a great platform to learn and also to network. It might be challenging at first because you're connecting with people you've not met, you've not seen. But what would stand out for you as a job seeker? How you communicate, the contents you share in LinkedIn. Because normally you just find a job seeker comes to your inbox just saying hi, and he leaves.
Then the next day they
one,
report
hi.
the CV or something.
No, the next day again, a hi. And you see, you get so many highs. And if you start replying to each and every hi, you'll not be able to achieve what you want.
Yeah.
So for me, they need to have a good communication strategy. Shoot your shot. If you get to someone's inbox, introduce yourself well. Talk about your skills, your knowledge, what you want to offer to the company. And probably if you're looking for a job, don't just shoot it that I'm looking for a job. You'll make the recruiter or the HR, the hiring manager, just to ghost you. You can talk of something maybe like I found your profile to be impressive, and I'm interested in what you do. I like what you do, and can I probably maybe volunteer? Yes, so you should not just state, I'm looking for a job. Yes.
So in the case somebody doesn't want to volunteer, they have bills to meet.
Sorry?
I'm saying in the case where somebody doesn't want to volunteer, they have bills to pay. I mean, voluntary work is free, eh? And you know, at the time we are looking for jobs, honestly, we have bills to pay, we have things to take care of. So maybe just give us, I understand the bit of what you're saying, just in terms of, you know, I interact with you on LinkedIn. I see Winnie does recruitment. Now, I want to approach Winnie, and I want to approach her in a way that Winnie will remember me and actually give me a job, or rather, and actually next time when she's hiring for this job, she'll think about me and reach out to me. So I want to make a lasting impression in Winnie's mind. How do I approach it?
Yeah, from a recruiter's perspective, I get more candidates via LinkedIn just through their inbox. Yeah, let's say a candidate approached me maybe some months ago that they're looking for a job, they're in this industry, they're in this field, and at that particular time, I'm recruiting for that role. That job seeker will come to my mind, and I'll be able to reach out to the job seeker that, hey, so-and-so, I'm currently recruiting for this role in this industry, and would you be interested? And I actually get candidates, and they're hired. Yeah.
So what do these people that you remember after, these people that stay at the top of your mind, what do they do? That those are the people who say, I mean, those are the people who hire you do not do. What sets them apart? I just want us to get the gist of this networking thing, because it's really, really, really very important that you're able to, even if I text you today, you're able to remember me like 6 months ago. I just want to get the aspect of uniqueness that they are.
Yeah, what they do, they are consistent, and you can actually see maybe in their LinkedIn, they do post some content, they interact, and through that you'll be able to remember that this particular guy we talked, and I have this role. Why not reach out to him?
Yeah.
Yes. So it's about how do you communicate? That is the most important thing. How consistent are you? Yes.
Even on your own LinkedIn. So I think from what you're saying, what I get is that there's consistency in terms of what the profile that they've created, or how they're coming out to maybe the jobs that they're looking for.
Yeah, how they're coming out. Yes.
All right, that's okay. I think that's great. So I think the next thing that we really also have to talk about, especially when it comes to job search, is on interviews.
Okay.
And maybe just a question that I would like to pose to you, because I know you've interviewed so many people. Are the current job seekers ready for interviews?
No.
Why do you say no?
You see, interview is an art in itself, and I always say that the moment you receive an interview invite, you're qualified for that role. Yes, it means there's something that...
I think that's very powerful, that they've seen in you.
Yeah, there's something that they've seen in you, and you're qualified for this role. So first thing first, what do you do? How do you prepare for this interview? You find that you tell a candidate the interview is tomorrow. The candidate just comes. In the email, you tell the candidate that you need to carry this and this and this and this. The candidate comes to the interview. You ask the candidate, where are your documents? I don't have.
I forgot.
I did see. So you're like, huh? What's happening to this candidate? Yes. So the important thing is preparation. Know about the company. Avoid the excuse of traffic jam. Most candidates have that excuse of traffic jam.
Come to interviews late.
Yes, coming late. Research about the company. Know the venue. Prepare well. And it's even important to come early, before your time. Yes.
So there's still a lot of work that needs to be done around interview preparation.
Yes.
Okay. So again, as a recruiter, maybe I think maybe one thing that I really want us to talk about that I've seen, and now maybe I'm addressing young people. I don't see it with a lot of, I don't want to say young people, maybe people who are just starting out on their careers. It must not necessarily mean that they're young. Yeah, the entry level guys.
Okay.
I've seen a lot of a disconnect, especially about dressing. Yeah, at some point there's a day I honestly had to, I think that has happened even like twice or more, both in a physical interview and a virtual interview, where I had to send a candidate back. Because because the way they appeared for that interview, honestly, you see somebody, you get and bring somebody maybe from the reception, and you're like, are you coming for the interview? I mean, why don't we respect these jobs? So I think, what has been your experience, especially on the bit of dressing? Because as a recruiter, you really know presentation plays a key role. Yeah. Have you ever experienced candidates who come to interviews, like you look at someone, unamwangalia, you ask yourself like, hey, so where do I start from?
It happens. I've met quite a number, and I always say that the moment you get into the reception of that organization, the receptionist or the person sitting there or the admin will be able to tell if you'll get this job or not.
The interview has begun.
Yeah, the interview has begun.
Yeah, true.
Yes, so it's important to dress for the job. Of course, definitely you can't be called for a HR manager role and you're just coming like that. You need to dress up for, you need to, it's actually even advised to overdress. Yes.
So that bit of dressing, guys, I think I want to stress that part, because the things that I've been seeing, even there's another recruiter, a friend of mine, who usually tells me we really need to just have a whole master class on presentation and dressing, how people need to dress for interviews. So if you're outside there, you've never gone for any interview, or you're just starting out on your career, please know that dressing well for the interview is a very important step in your success in that interview.
Yes, it does. And actually it depends with the positions. Let's say you're interviewing for an engineer. You don't expect an engineer to come with a suit. Yes.
But presentability
is key. Yes.
Okay, that's fine. So I think next we need to talk a bit about market trends. Yeah, I think like the market is changing. There's a lot of things are shifting. We are not doing things like the way we were doing them 10, 15, 5 years ago. So maybe in terms of, what are the market trends that you're seeing in the job market that a job seeker really needs to know?
The market trends. One I can say is currently in the 2024, networking is very key. It's very important. That one we have to emphasize on that. And networking with the right people. And also in LinkedIn, I always advise people not just to send connections so that you get more
followers or more connections.
Yes, you need to connect with people maybe in your industry, people you're looking up to, people maybe you have the same interests with. Yeah.
So one of the trends that you're seeing, especially for 2024, is networking. Maybe any other trend that you're seeing that job seekers really needs to take cognizance of?
Yeah, referrals. Referrals they're really working, and the use of WhatsApp groups, different jobs being sent to WhatsApp groups. Yes.
So especially in terms of WhatsApp groups, I think one of the things, I know it's a good trend, and nowadays almost all jobs are posted on WhatsApp. Even if it is posted in a company's website, in 2 minutes, you'll see it in some WhatsApp group. One thing that I've found, especially with the WhatsApp, there are a lot of scamming. There are a lot of jobs that are not legit, are not legitimate. So how I think that's also maybe another trend that I think it's important to talk about, the rise of let's call it job conning, or what, the rise of fake jobs. So especially when using WhatsApp. So I just want us to maybe share with our job seekers, how does somebody not get trapped, or rather not get a victim of such?
Yeah, the scamming is something that is it's too much at the moment. And whenever a job seeker sees a job advert being posted in a WhatsApp group, it's do your due diligence. Get to the website of that company and just ensure that this particular job, is it really in this website? Ama tu imetumwa tu. Yes. Also, if you don't see it in the website, be proactive and get to call maybe the company and ask, are you really guys recruiting or what is happening? Yes.
So you really need to do your due diligence, going back to the company's website, trying to check if that job is actually posted there. But now, even most jobs are not posted in those websites.
Yeah, they are, but because you normally see just WhatsApp, they're just shared. You just shared. They're just shared. Yes.
So how will a job seeker be able to tell, even if they get to the website, they've not gotten that job, they're not getting it anywhere in the companies, even Facebook or LinkedIn pages, they're just seeing it on WhatsApp.
I'll still emphasize that they need to get to call that particular company.
Yeah.
You can even do a walk-in just to understand, are you guys really recruiting?
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think also, just to add on to that, one thing I also tell people is to never send any money for jobs. And also there's a current one that I saw where the companies that are hiring, they'll call you and send you, I don't know, to an assessment center and tell you when you get to this assessment center you pay. So those are the red flags. They'll call you, tell you that go to this assessment center, this is a pre interview assessment that we have to do and you have to pay for this. So when you hear anything that is telling you to pay, guys, you really need to be very, very cautious. I honestly don't believe in paying to get jobs from where I see it, and I really, really stand for that. I believe that, like I was telling you, if you're the recruiter and you're hiring, the company should be able to pay you to give them that talent.
Service,
if a company is doing an assessment, you don't need to pay as a job seeker to do any assessment. That is a recruitment cost that the company should be willing, or rather is expected to take care of.
Also, I can add on maybe the email address that you're supposed to share your application. You need, the email address also speaks a lot. Yes.
So you avoid the Gmail, Hotmail, and all that.
Yeah.
It needs to be reflecting the company.
The company.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. That's quite important. Thank you, Winnie, for that. And I think while we are still at that, maybe would you just talk to us a bit on the future of job searching? What should the current job seeker be prepared for? I think that is still just in relevance, or rather in line with the shifting trends that we are seeing. So in terms of the future, what is the future of job searching?
Wow, a lot is changing currently, and job seekers should be upskilling. Like, let's say a job seeker in the IT world, you should not just be focused on the basic IT knowledge that you have. There is quite a lot that is changing in the IT world that you need to upskill. You need to doing online courses each and every day. Yes. You need to upskill. Upskilling is the way to go. Yes.
So there's a lot about advancing in your skills.
Yeah, advancing in your skills, in your knowledge. Yes.
And I think also just in that line, it's really quite important, maybe Winnie, from a recruiter perspective. I know you've noted that there's a rise, there's a surge, or rather there's a rise in remote work. Yeah. So I think from where I sit, I also feel people really need to align themselves. People really need to align themselves to remote jobs. And there's a video that, guys, just while we are still at that, there's a video that I've done on the high paying skills, or rather the skills that you need to have if you're looking, or if you desire to have a remote job. Because from where I sit, I really feel, and I think I was even telling you this when we were starting, that there's an increase in remote jobs. People are now more focused, or people are now embracing work from home. People are embracing just being able to work on their own. So there's a rise in the need, or rather people want to do work remotely, not necessarily having to go to the offices. So I'll put that video as well in the description of this video. I'll put the link to that video in the description of this video, so you can just watch, even in this era of remote jobs, the future of remote jobs, so you're able to get to equip yourself with those skills that will help you to land a remote job. So I think remote job is also a trend.
Yeah, it's a
that
trend,
we need to really job seekers really need to observe as well.
And also with the remote jobs, you need to have the right skills for you to do that job. Yeah. Because you see, most job seekers, they just see it's a remote job, I'll be working from home.
And they don't even know maybe how to use the basic things like Zoom, Microsoft Teams, which when you're working remotely, those are the things that you'll use almost on a daily basis in meetings and all that. All right, that's fine. So I think we're almost coming to the end of this conversation. And before we do, we can't avoid, or rather we can't finish this conversation without talking about some of the mistakes that you think job seekers make, especially during job search.
Wow, there are quite a number. I'll share a few. One of the mistakes job seekers make is applying a job with the same CV. You see a job, you just throw your CV. You don't customize the CV to the JD. And also applying a job past the deadline.
Oh, people apply past deadline.
Yes, and it's always advisable that apply the job immediately you see that advert, because most recruiters, they normally start shortlisting immediately the CV starts streaming in. And from maybe let's say they have 20 CVs, they've received 20 CVs, then among the 20, they have 10 good candidates.
They proceed and
They proceed and interview. So the rest will be applying up past the deadline. You'll be locked out. So ensure that immediately you see a job advert, don't procrastinate. Apply for that job. And also ensure that your CV is always up to date. Is always up to date. So that when someone maybe asks you, share your CV, you're able to share it instantly. Yes.
Okay. Any other mistake?
Another mistake that job seekers make, applying for just any job. You see, probably maybe you're an intern and you see a CEO role and you're applying.
I know. Very true.
It happens. So don't just apply for any job. Yes, you normally job seekers ask you, but I shared my CV. You didn't receive my CV. And I'm like, which job did you apply for? I just threw my CV. Because you see that one, you're bringing more stress to yourself. You won't be called for an interview.
True.
Yes, so it's important to apply for the role that you qualify for. And I always say that if you see a job advert and the minimum requirements, you qualify 80%, just apply that job.
You don't have to qualify 100%.
Yeah, you don't have to. Your chances of getting an interview is high. Yes.
And I think just maybe to add on to that also, I think why people do that, why people apply for any jobs. I have been in a job search phase before, and I know somebody say, I want to apply for 15 jobs daily. You know,
they have a target.
Yeah. I want to apply for 10 jobs daily. And guys, I'm stressing that point because I think I've said it countless times that it's not about the quantity. It's about the quality.
Sure.
You'll rather even apply for one. And as Winnie said, as you've said, that one at least you meet 80%. Than applying for 10 that honestly you meet 0 or even you meet like 10%. Because the process is quite draining. You'll be doing cover letters. You keep on editing to the HR manager where you keep on maybe even maybe tweaking your CV a bit. So that's why job search becomes emotionally draining. Yeah, that's why it becomes a job on its own. Because I'm just trying to imagine you're applying for 10 jobs in a day. It's even more than 8 to 5 jobs. Yeah. Because you're sitting there in front of maybe your phone or a computer, and really straining. So it's not about quantity; it is about quality. And these mistakes that we do, especially just throwing in CVs, now you think you've applied for a job, kumbe, you honestly have just put it in another dustbin.
Yes.
Yeah, so you need to be more strategic. Focus more on quality and not quantity. Always ensure that your CV is aligned. As Winnie said, look at the job description very well and ensure that your CV is aligned to the job descriptions of every job that you're applying for.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think just as we summarize it, it's really just to give us in summary. Now, from where you sit, what are those job search strategies? Just to summarize all this conversation that you really think work.
The job search strategies.
Yeah.
One of them is have a good CV. Ensure that at all times your CV is always updated. And optimize your LinkedIn profile also. Ensure that whenever a recruiter or a hiring manager approaches you, they'll be able to see what they want to see from your profile. You stand a high chance of getting an interview.
Yeah.
Yes, and also you can also use the different job boards that we have. Maybe you can register your profile on sites like Fuzu, Brighter Monday. Yes.
So I think also, just as you said, which one thing that also, I mean, something that's also quite important, just shift your game around networking.
Yes, networking.
Don't just
yeah.
network by just getting business cards. We say that if you're going for those networking events, be very strategic. Unless you see a networking event that you believe will give value to you, honestly, guys, me, I'll tell you, don't go. Because you see, some of them are paid for.
Yeah,
at the time,
for.
yeah, at the time that somebody is looking for a job, I mean, you don't even maybe have that extra money or extra resources to put into something that honestly will not immediately return value. So as you said, when you see someone going to that event, someone you really wanted to see, then you'll see, okay, I'm going to this event because I want to network with this person. And even on LinkedIn, you really need to be strategic around your networking. And another important thing, please don't fail to upskill, because I really see the trends are moving so quickly.
Yeah.
So in terms of upskilling, in terms of advancing, always just wanting, or rather always just putting yourself in a space where you're always the best. In terms of having those unique skills, having the expertise that maybe employers are looking for, just always ensuring that you're on top of the game, right?
Yeah, and still on LinkedIn also, as a job seeker, ensure that when you're looking for a job, just comment on other people's posts, share, yes,
to be more visible.
Yeah, to be more visible.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, that's fine. Any final thought before we close this video?
Final thought to the job seekers. What I would say that the jobs are there. Package yourself right, and be patient with yourself. Be positive. Everything will fall into place.
Amen. So thank you so much. That was quite an insightful conversation. And if you're going to forget everything from this video, I think you need to master the last bit, that the jobs are there. Quite powerful. The jobs are there. You just need to package yourself well. Just follow these guidelines that Winnie has shared with us in this video in terms of revamping your CV, your networking skills, upskilling, and of course, always ensuring that you have a skill or an expertise that will always set you above and put you ahead of this game. So thank you so much, guys, for watching this video. If you've not subscribed to this channel, this is a good opportunity for you to just click that subscribe button and join this community where we are all about learning, building ourselves to build those rewarding and fulfilling